Hey Jim, we're going to do something today it should be real easy, and it is some cars less than others, but I'm going to do a cabin filter replacement in this 2004 Mercedes-Benz, and I've never done it before. I am not a mechanic. Got the old to-do list. I'm working on this right up here. I think it's carbon buildup, so I'm working on this. That'll be a different video. Today, it's the cabin filter. Next time, if it's not that, I'm going to do a whole what is it called? The active body control, ABC, the hydraulic suspension. I'm going to try to do a little sweetening up of that situation. But today, it is cabin filter. And I know a lot of places charge quite a bit for this service. This is what I ordered. Part number right there. And this is, it says made in Poland. And it looks like the North American division is not that far away from me. Anyway, there's two filters in here, and it cost me about $30. Next, I am going to kind of try to peel back this carpet a little bit. That will hopefully give me some clearance. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Looks like there's a piece of foam here, which I'm also going to pull back for the moment. I'm going to keep it the same way it was here, so it's easy to put back in. If you take it out on a table, you better label it however it's oriented here. So, okay, that was pretty easy. That feels tight. Okay. Next up, I'm going to take a mirror here, and I'm going to look at the fasteners. There's one there, it looks like, and one there. Those seem to be, what is that? Maybe I'm going to say it's a T15. We'll see. No, it was actually a T25. So let me go get the other two out of there. So what I did here is I used just my thumb to pry the edge of this out from the back of under the glove box here. And then it seemed like it was a little bit stuck over on this side, but I pushed it back again, and you can see this lip here that fits underneath. I just stuck my finger under here and pulled this out a tiny bit, and this was able to slip down and out. And so now I think I can pull this whole panel out of here. But it's going to take two hands. Oh, there we go. Nice. Look at that. All the stuff is fairly long, so I might not even need to unhook any of the wiring. So let's just leave that right there and look up underneath. Cabin filters are going to be up in here, and I need to slide these deals. There are two little doors up there. We're looking through a mirror, but you can see there's two little doors up there, and there's this little slidey thing where it's all the way that way right now, and there's one over here too. So now what we've got to do is we've got to push this slidey thing that way. So, and there's one on the other end that has to come towards us. So There's two slidey things on each door, and they have to slide towards the center. It took a little bit of pry action with my little plastic pry tool there to get them to finally pop off, but they just pop right off. And you can see these are probably going to be pretty dirty. Okay, I was being a bit too dramatic, I think, because that's definitely not the original one. It's dirty, needs to be changed, but boy, have I seen worse. Okay. Well, this one had a bit more schmutz in it, so we'll shake that out. Yeah. So the only real trick that I see here is making sure you notice the orientation as you're pulling these out. Because you see the way they're shaped, there's a longer angle there and a shorter one there. And you just have to make sure that you're putting it back in the same way that the existing one came out. So pay attention to that. This is how the second one came out. So that's the one where if you're sitting here, the one on that side. So I will go ahead and push them back in there and get them seated nicely and put the lid back on, and then we should be able to put the, just gonna have to make sure that this air duct thing, as I'm putting this panel back on, that this air duct thing is able to slip in there and engage with the air duct that it's supposed to. Probably not that hard, but that's something to pay attention to. Something else I've noticed here is these lids, they only go back in one way. They won't, you can't really put them in the opposite direction. But if you get them confused, there is a little arrow right there. You see that arrow? Yeah. Dropped it. Anyway, that arrow there, if you're going to install this underneath the car, there is an arrow that corresponds that's on the actual underside of the dashboard, so you know you have this on correctly. Just make the arrows touch. All right, I'm trying to put this panel back in here, and I discovered that you have to get it up a little higher because there's these ducts here. There's one there, there's one over here. So you have to get it up fairly high so it clears those before it'll slide back enough to get it into a position where you can start maybe feeding it back underneath this edge here. I'm going to start with this one because that was the hardest one to get out and the last one to come out. So I'll probably flex it a little bit to get this one in and under, and I'll use my little finger trick here again. And then once it pops in, I'll put in the 3 screws and roll the flooring back up, and gosh, we'll be about done. All right. The top piece is in. I could absolutely feel it when it popped into position, and that little air duct thing fell into position. I could feel it no problem. So now I'm just going to push all this stuff back in, and we're done. There we go. That wasn't too hard. Just saved about, what, a couple $100? Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe less. Thanks for watching. I'll do the ABC system next. Or soon. We'll see.